Hello everybody and welcome back to Life on the Run. You may well remember me talking about buying the camper, which you can see here, which we discovered was not a mainstream camper, neither did it have an inbuilt heating system, and also it was too small. We found out these things fairly quickly, and also that we had trouble trading it in for a bigger a motorhome, to step up to a motorhome. But we finally did find somewhere, funnily enough, in Leeds, that were a similar place to where we bought the camper from. And this was a place that sold vans, but he also sold some motorhomes. And he was prepared to take our van conversion in part exchange. And the motorhome that we looked at was a Bessacar E560, 2007. And it looked brilliant. It had had one owner from new. The service record was incredible. The guy had had it serviced every year. He'd had the cabin serviced, as well as the engine, and it had only done 18,000 miles. So looking at it and looking at all that, we thought we were buying a good vehicle. So we proceeded with the deal and bought it. But it wasn't long before we discovered that these so-called habitation checks that they do are just a box ticking exercise, because it was all checked prior to us buying it, and yet there was no pipe attached to the sink in the kitchen. The light in the kitchen had completely burned out. There was all sorts wrong with it. The tap in the shower leaked. Whoever had serviced it, they'd over-tightened the housing on the fuel filter and cracked it. Either that or they'd cross-threaded it. So that was leaking. I could go on. There was plenty wrong with it. But gradually, I put everything right, bit by bit. I put everything right. And, well, I was going to say we've had no trouble for a long time with it, but right from the word go, it was horrible to reverse. It was as though the gearing in the reverse gear was too high a gear for it, because it had shuddered. It was terrible to reverse uphill. It shuddered about, and eventually, after I'd had it about a year or so, the clutch went, and I had to ring the AA, and we had to be brought back on a low loader. And having replaced the clutch, I have to say the reverse is not much better. All right on the flat, but if you have to reverse uphill, it's terrible. I don't know if anyone else has discovered that. But by and large, the van is the right van. All right, we can't park it like we could, the little camper van. And gradually we discovered that motorhoming is totally different from caravanning. When we had the caravan, there's a lot more work involved in setting a caravan up. So you'd go to a site, always a site, where they had a hookup and was fairly level. And mind you, having said that, we did go on some horrendously unlevel sites. And you'd stay for an hefty period. You'd maybe stay for a week or maybe 4 days. Well, we used to go from Thursday to Sunday, generally, so we'd do that. Whereas with the motorhome, Because a lot of the CL sites are not in a location where there's public transport or you're near to a town or a village. A lot of them are out in the sticks. You've no vehicle to get around in. So you do it differently. We tend to never hit motorways. We always travel on A and B roads. And we take us time going to where we're going, and the journey is the holiday. We'd stop, and if we saw somewhere we were interested in, we'd stop and look round, and we'd eventually get to a site and just stay one night, and then leave the following day. And that's how different it was with a motorhome as opposed to a caravan.